You check your phone 228 times a day. Each session lasts about 10 seconds. That's not a habit. That's a hostage situation. And look, I'm not judging. I literally paused writing this script to scroll TikTok for 20 minutes. The fact that you clicked on a video about attention spans is either deeply ironic or deeply hopeful. Maybe both. Right now, your brain is already calculating whether to stay or scroll. I get it. So here's the deal. I went down the research rabbit hole after my screen time report scared me. What I found was worse than I expected, but also weirdly fixable. Let me show you what's actually happening. Something has changed about how we focus, and it's not your imagination. You've felt it, that foggy feeling when you try to read something longer than a tweet. The way you start a task, then somehow end up watching a video of a raccoon stealing pizza. The moment you open your phone, forget why, and 20 minutes later, remember you were supposed to text someone back. This isn't a lecture about putting your phone down. I make YouTube videos, so that would be weird. This is me telling you what I found when I actually looked into the science. I thought my attention was fine. I thought I was just tired or lazy or not disciplined enough. Turns out, none of that was true. The real explanation is honestly stranger than I expected. Most people get this part wrong. The way we talk about attention spans is completely wrong. You've probably heard some version of the idea that humans now have shorter attention spans than goldfish. 8 seconds. It's everywhere. News articles, TED Talks, that one productivity guy at your office who won't stop recommending apps. But here's the thing. What if that whole story was made up? The 8-second goldfish statistic came from a 2015 Microsoft report. It spread everywhere. It became common knowledge. Everyone just accepted it. But when researchers actually tried to track down the source, they found something weird. The citation led to another citation, which led to a source that doesn't exist. No one has ever scientifically measured goldfish attention spans. That number was completely fabricated. Think about it for a second. How would you even measure goldfish attention? What would you show them? A tiny underwater PowerPoint? The whole thing is nonsense, but it stuck because it felt true. We all sense something is different about how we focus now. So when someone gave us a number, we grabbed onto it. Here's the problem, though. The goldfish thing being fake doesn't mean you're off the hook. When you look at what we can actually measure, the real data is somehow worse. The myth made you feel bad for no reason. The truth should make you pay attention. Now let's look at what researchers have actually documented. In the year 2000, the average time a person spent on one screen before switching was about 2.5 minutes. By 2012, that dropped to 75 seconds. Today, 47 seconds. That's the average time you spend focused on any single screen before your brain starts looking for something else. Mobile phones are even more fragmented. Studies show people pick up their phones 228 times a day. The average session length is about 10 seconds. 10 seconds! That's not checking your phone. That's a nervous tick with a screen attached. Here's what's wild. When researchers survey people about this, 49% say their attention feels worse than it did 10 years ago. Nearly half of people feel that deep thinking has become almost extinct in their daily lives. They're not imagining it. The data backs them up. But this isn't about having a shorter attention span. That framing is wrong. What's actually happening is your attention has become more fragmented, more choppy. You're switching more often, settling less, always scanning for the next thing. So what does this actually do to your brain over time? Here's something that honestly freaked me out when I found it. Your brain physically changes based on how you use it. Neuroplasticity means your neural pathways adapt to repeated behaviors. The way most of us use our brains right now, we're training them to never settle on anything. Researchers have a term for this. They call it popcorn brain. It's the phenomenon where your brain becomes conditioned to expect constant stimulation, like kernels popping, always something new, always another thing, never stillness. MRI studies show that when people constantly task switch, they're not getting more done. They're actually creating a state of chronic neural overactivation. Your brain is working harder, burning more resources, and producing less focused output. Here's the part that concerned me most. Studies on children show they experience a 27% drop in attention span during sustained tasks. Kids. Their brains are still developing, and they're developing under these conditions from the start. Young adults show more stable attention, but they grew up before smartphones became extensions of their bodies. Your brain isn't broken. It's adapted, but it adapted to an environment of chaos. The question is, who built that chaos? It wasn't an accident. Let me tell you about a guy named Eyal. He wrote a book called Hooked. It's literally a playbook for how to make apps addictive. Tech companies treat it like a Bible. It breaks down the exact psychological triggers that keep people coming back compulsively. Here's the thing. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's just how the business model works. Social media platforms make money when you look at ads. The longer you stay, the more ads you see. Your attention is the product being sold, so they hire behavioral psychologists. They design infinite scroll, so there's never a natural stopping point. They implement variable reward schedules, the same psychology that makes slot machines addictive. Sometimes you scroll and find something great. Sometimes you don't. That unpredictability is precisely what keeps you pulling the lever. Every notification is an intentional interruption. Someone at a company made a decision that your focus was worth less than their engagement metric. Notifications aren't helpful features. They're interruption as a service. You're not the customer here. You're the product. Your attention is what's being extracted. You're not fighting your willpower. You're fighting a billion-dollar persuasion machine. But here's what really gets me. The people who designed these systems, many of them don't let their own kids use the products they built. Everyone talks about dopamine like it's the pleasure chemical, the thing that makes you feel good, but that's not actually how it works. Dopamine is really about anticipation. It's the seeking chemical. It drives wanting, not liking. Your brain releases dopamine when you're pursuing something potentially rewarding, not when you've already got it. This is why social media is so effective at hijacking your attention. The scroll itself is the dopamine hit. You're not addicted to the content you find. You're addicted to the possibility of content. The maybe, the what if something good is next. Variable rewards maximize this effect. Slot machines don't pay out every time. Neither does your social media feed. Sometimes you see something amazing, sometimes it's garbage. That unpredictability creates the strongest dopamine response. This is why checking your phone never actually satisfies you. Satisfaction would end the loop. The whole system is designed to keep you seeking without ever fully arriving. That's why you check your phone when you're bored, even though checking your phone has never once cured your boredom. You're caught in a seeking loop that has no natural endpoint. So now you understand the mechanism. But knowing this doesn't automatically fix it. Here's why. Raise your hand if you've ever said to yourself, I'm just going to put my phone down and focus. And then, 10 minutes later, you're watching a video of a guy pressure washing a driveway. Just me? Yeah, I didn't think so. Here's the thing about willpower. It's not a character trait. It's a limited resource. Every decision you make, every temptation you resist, draws from the same finite pool. That pool drains throughout the day. Research suggests the average person makes around 35,000 decisions daily. Join our YouTube membership for exclusive perks like early access to scripts, input on future topics about productivity, and connect with a like-minded community that gets it. Click join below and let's build your easier, more intentional life together. Every notification you resist, every urge to check that you push down, every time you pull yourself back to focus, it all costs something. When you're playing defense 228 times a day, you're going to lose eventually. Not because you're weak, because you're human. This is predictable psychology, not moral failure. Studies show that half of people report they can't stop checking their phones even when they're actively trying to. Half. These are people with the intention to focus, who still can't do it. You can't willpower your way out of an environment designed to break your willpower. So if discipline isn't the answer, what is? Okay, I've spent some time kind of terrifying you. That was intentional. But here's the good news. Attention spans aren't fixed. They're trainable. The same neuroplasticity that created popcorn brain can work in reverse. Your brain can adapt back. Research on something called A-span, which measures how attention quality changes during sustained tasks, shows that improvements are possible with the right intervention. Young adults maintain stable attention even in our digital environment, which means the brain can handle it. The damage isn't permanent. Here's what surprised me most. Some of the interventions are almost stupidly simple. There's research showing that just putting your phone on silent mode improves attention metrics by about 20%. That's one change. 20% improvement. You don't need to become a monk. You don't need to throw your phone in a lake and move to a cabin. You need strategic, targeted changes to your environment and habits. The goal isn't to fight technology, it's to stop losing to it by default. All right, enough theory. Let's talk about what actually works. We'll start with the easiest win, and I mean that. This takes 5 minutes, and the research says it works almost immediately. It's called a notification audit. Go into your settings, then notifications, and get ruthless. For every app that can send you notifications, ask yourself one question. Does this app need to interrupt my life in real time? Not, does it sometimes send useful stuff? Not, is it sometimes important? Does it need to break my focus the moment something happens? For most apps, the answer is no. Email can wait. Social media can definitely wait. News apps are literally designed to make everything feel urgent when it isn't. Weather apps don't need to tell you it's partly cloudy right now. What actually needs real-time notification access? Calls from people you care about, texts from close friends or family, calendar reminders for things you'll actually miss. That's about it. Every notification you allow is permission for a company to hijack your attention whenever they want. You can still check things intentionally. You're just removing the ambush. Do this on your phone and do it on your laptop too. Browser notifications are just as bad. That's your defense. Now let's talk about offense. The most focused people aren't people with more willpower. They're people who made distraction harder. Not impossible, just harder. Friction works. If your phone is in the same room as you, face down, you'll still reach for it. But if your phone is in another room, you probably won't get up to check it every few minutes. That tiny bit of extra effort is enough to break the automatic behavior. Pre-commitment devices are things that make the distraction path longer before you even start. Website blockers like Cold Turkey or Freedom that require multiple steps to disable. Apps that lock your phone for set periods. Even just logging out of distracting sites so you have to log back in. Another technique is the full screen single app rule. When you're working on something, one app, full screen, nothing else visible. No second monitor with email. No browser tabs lurking. Visual monotasking. Physical workspace cues matter too. If you always sit in a specific spot when you do focused work, your brain starts associating that spot with focus. Pavlovian conditioning works on humans too. You're not building discipline. You're building an environment where discipline becomes optional. There's one more technique that sounds weird, but honestly outperforms most productivity advice. Body doubling sounds like something from a spy movie. It's not. It's actually one of the most effective focus techniques, originally developed in the ADHD community. The concept is simple. You work near someone else who's also focused. That's it. Something about the presence of another focused person changes your behavior. Part of it is accountability. You're less likely to drift if someone might notice. But part of it seems to be something deeper. Mirror neurons, social pressure, the way focus almost seems contagious. You don't have to be in the same room. Virtual body doubling works too. There's an app called FocusMate that pairs you with a stranger for a video call, where you both work silently. Study with me videos on YouTube work for the same reason. Even just working at a coffee shop with moderate ambient noise can trigger the effect. Peer pressure pods are another version. Groups of people who do silent work sessions together, online or in person. The science suggests we underestimate how much our focus is shaped by the people around us. You don't have to want to focus. You just have to be near people who are. Okay, so you've got your environment set up and your focus buddy ready. Now let's talk about how to structure your actual work time. You've probably heard of the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes off. It's fine, it works for some people. But there's a deeper rhythm your brain already follows, and it's called the Ultradian cycle. It sounds made up. It's not. Your brain naturally moves through roughly 90-minute periods of higher alertness, followed by periods where it needs rest. This matches your sleep cycles, your dream phases, even your eating patterns. It's biological. The Pomodoro technique works by creating artificial structure. But ultradian cycles work with your biology instead of against it. 90 minutes of deep work followed by a genuine 20-minute break. Genuine break means no screens. Walk around, stretch, stare at a wall. Let your brain actually rest instead of just switching to a different kind of stimulation. After 90 minutes, your brain needs downtime. Pushing past that point hits diminishing returns fast. You're fighting biology, and biology wins. Most people can manage 3, maybe 4 of these deep work cycles per day. That's your maximum cognitive capacity for focused effort. Trying to do more doesn't make you more productive. It just makes you more exhausted. Match your hardest thinking to your peak alertness window. For most people, that's the morning. But here's the thing. None of this works if you start your day already hijacked. Look, I'm not going to tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. and meditate for an hour. I don't do that. Most people don't do that. The research doesn't say you need to. But the first hour of your day does set the tone for everything after. What you do in those first 60 minutes shapes your day's attention. If the first thing you do is grab your phone and scroll through notifications, you're putting your brain in reactive mode. You're starting the day letting other people's priorities hijack your attention. There's a concept called zone zero. It's the idea of creating a transition ritual between waking up and engaging with the world. A buffer zone where you're not yet responding to inputs. This doesn't have to be complicated. Movement helps. Journaling works for some people. Planning your day is useful. Or, honestly, just sitting with your coffee and not looking at a screen for a few minutes. Delaying your first phone check by even 30 minutes measurably improves focus ratings throughout the day. Your brain hasn't yet been trained into seeking mode. You're protecting that window. The goal isn't morning perfection. It's morning ownership. You decide what your brain focuses on first. We've covered the tactics, but I want to leave you with something bigger. Here's the thing about attention that most people don't say out loud. The real problem isn't that you can't focus. It's that you've forgotten why you'd want to. All these techniques work. The notification audit, the environment design, the body doubling, the Ultradian cycles. They're all effective. But they're not the point. The point is what you're saving your attention for. If you don't have an answer to that question, the distractions will always win. There will always be another scroll, another notification, another quick check that turns into 20 minutes of nothing. Attention is the only non-renewable resource you have. Time runs out for everyone. But attention is how you actually experience time. 2 hours can feel like nothing or everything, depending on whether you were present for them. How you spend your attention is how you spend your life. That's not poetic, that's just math. I don't want to focus so I can be more efficient. I don't want to optimize my productivity metrics. I want to focus so I can read a book again, so I can have a conversation without my mind drifting to my pocket, so I can think a thought all the way through to the end, without interrupting myself. I want to focus so I can be more present, more me. The goal isn't to focus like you used to. It's to focus like you actually can. Here's the thing, you made it through this video. That means something. You could have clicked away at the goldfish part. You didn't. You could have checked your phone when I was explaining dopamine. Maybe you did, but you came back. So here's my challenge. One change. Just one. Do the notification audit tonight. Put your phone in another room tomorrow when you work. Try one 90-minute focus block this week. Not everything, just one thing. Do that, and you've already proved something important. Your attention isn't cooked. It's just been waiting for you to take it back. The fact that you're still here? That's not ironic at all. That's hopeful. Now go close some tabs, including this one. And hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, let me know your thoughts on what I just shared. Oh, and there's more. I've just started a Patreon to help support these videos and connect with you more directly. Check out the link in the description if you'd like to join.